How you going, brothers and the occasional sister? Let's tear into part 3 of my life on the street on the North Island when I was 17 years of age. Make yourself a brew. Actually, we'll leave the store open because it's actually quite hot out there. Make yourself a brew, sit back and enjoy the yarn. Sweet. Show you around the hut. That's upstairs where the bed goes. Mad Kiwi's better half did that for me, thanks Siobhan. There's the bed. Around the corner here, there's an old boat over there, and one day I'm going to have a log cabin over there one day. And here's the seat and the microphone. Life was pretty colourful to say the least in 1981 in Cuba Street in Wellington, North Island of New Zealand. And for me, 17-year-old travelling around, there was a lot to find and discover and new stuff. I was staying in a hostel at the time, been playing music, making a bit of money, playing a bit of harmonica, playing on the street, busking, making pretty good dollars, having a lot of fun. This particular night, I got myself locked out of the hostel. They had a curfew time. If you weren't home by then, you were pretty much stuffed. They did it to stop people coming in at 12 or 1 a.m. in the morning, which was fair enough too. But I was pretty loose back then. I was smoking a wee bit of electric broccoli and experimenting with different substances. And more often than not, I was drinking too much whiskey. Most of it came from people I'd meet at parties and stuff, because I was still too young to go and buy it at the pubs and clubs, but I'd get my hands on it. As there's always a way, as you've got that motivation to get yourself a drink, you'll get yourself a drink, and that's what I did. This particular night, I've been playing late. It was a Friday night and I've been busking. It was a town, sort of buzzy, things were happening, and I got caught up in the gig and people were throwing money in my hat. And when I got back to the hostel, it was closed. And they had a buzzer, and when I pushed the buzzer, a big lady came out, and there was a guy that was standing beside me, and he was about my age. Had a very round face, very cheery looking guy with mad red hair, and we hadn't talked or anything. He was just like looking at the door and looking at me, and I said, "Looks like you're in the same boat as me, mate. We're both locked out." And he just nodded his head and didn't say much. Anyway, this lady comes out and she looks all pissed off with us. She comes waddling out to the bloody door and opens up and goes, "You should have been in at 10 o'clock. And the other guy goes, "Sorry." And so he not only had a stutter, but he also had a lisp. I would soon come to find out that he had something even worse than that. That was quite problematic and quite embarrassing. But that would come very shortly. I would find out pretty shortly. So the big woman looked at him and he said he's sorry, and so we go inside and she opened up and she said, "Well, please next time make sure you're earlier." And she swung around and she had these big boobs that sort of stuck out. You know, some women have boobs that hang down, and some have ones that when they're big they go out the side. These ones are just like two big bloody bullets. And we're going up there the hallway to our dorm and everything's good, and I said, "Thanks for letting us, appreciate it." And next minute this guy goes, "Big tits, big tits, big tits." I was like, "What?" She turned around, she says, "Sorry?" And he said, "Sorry, sorry." She said, "What did you say?" He said, "Nothing." And she said, "I think you did." And he goes, "No, I said nothing." And she's like, "I think you did, and I think an apology is in order." And he said, I'm sorry, big tits, big tits." She said, "Sorry?" He said, "I'm sorry, big tits." And he kept on saying big tits, and it was like, what does... I'd never ever heard it or knew what Tourette's was, and I didn't even know that it was a disease. It's actually an actual fact. It's a problem that people can't control. This guy had sort of like, he had a twitch, he had a stutter, he had a lisp, and he had Tourette's. So he had 4 real things that were really like very problematic. And the woman didn't know obviously what Tourette's was, otherwise she would have said, "Look, that's okay." She would have realised. She got more flustered, and he got more flustered, and he couldn't control it. And I was trying to laugh. I was cracking up, and she said, "It's not funny." And I was like pissing myself because I'm 17. And she said, "Well, you can't stay here, Tim." And I said, "Hey, that's not fair, come on." Because something was clearly wrong with the guy. And he kept on saying sorry after he'd done it. He'd go, "Sorry, sorry." So she said, "Well, behave yourself and you can stay." We were in a dorm. You shared it with other people. I can't remember how many people it was. And she said, just behave yourself or you'll have to go. And he said, absolutely, absolutely, sorry. She said, okay, good night. And as she turned away, he went, big F, big F, big F, like 3 times in a row. And I was like, oh no. And she turned around and looked at him like this again. And he just completely like, was, sorry. And she said, go. So we were allowed to stay the night. And I turned around and said to him, I said, what's wrong with you, man? And he said, I can't help it. And I said, well, we're going to get us kicked out. And he said, I've got Tourette's. And I said, what's that? And he explained to me. And I said, introduced him who I was and how I'd got there, and told him about myself. And he put this hand out, and he had this big wide sort of red hair, carrot top. Nice face, smiley round face, but lots of red hair. And he goes, Sam. And I said, nice to meet you, Sam. I only said Sam. Now, that was my first meeting with Sam. And next morning at the breakfast table, we're sitting down, there was a few of us eating our porridge and stuff, and he's by himself in a corner, and a black guy comes in, and he was like not Maori or not Indian, but he was actually a black guy like you get in America. He was, because it's a hostel. And he screamed out the N-word, and I was like, oh no. And this guy went over to, just wanted to go over and kill him. It was at the table, and he said it, and he said, sorry. And this guy went over to like just smash him, and everybody was looking at him, and I went over and intervened, and I said to the black guy, I said, he has Tourette's. And he's like, what the fuck's up, man? And I said, well, I think he can't help what he's saying. And it's actually, he doesn't want to say that he can't help it. This guy's like, fuck that shit, man. Hey, motherfucker, you come outside with me. And he's going, sorry. And it's really creating a really, not a funny act. I mean, it's funny to hear now, but it wasn't funny at the time. Finally, I get everything calmed up, and I was going like this to Sam. I was going, because this guy was fuming. And you could see on Sam's face the word going to come out. And as the guy walked away, Sam was like, and then the guy turned around and looked at him, and then kept on walking. And then Sam said it again straight afterwards. I'm not going to say it on this video because the video will get taken down. But he said it loud and clear. And the guy just went in a rage on him. He jumped on him. And there was another guy beside me that also helped separate the two. And even when we were separating him, Sam was still saying it. Finally, when everything had calmed down and we'd explained to the American guy, he was actually American, we'd explained to him the situation. And he kind of like was a little bit cool with it, but not really. Some people were laughing. Some people were like... when I tell a story, I've told it before a few times, and people often think it's funny, but it actually wasn't funny. It was actually quite serious. Although I was laughing at the time because I was 17 and stupid, but today I wouldn't be laughing. Anyway, I sat down with Sam and I said, bro, you're going to have to be so careful, man. And he said, the story of my life is like, I fuck everything up because I can't help it. And I said, well, maybe you just keep yourself sort of a wee bit isolated in places like this, because this could have turned really, really bad today. He goes, what do you mean it could turn really bad? It did turn really bad. And I said, yeah. I said, you just can't do that, bro. He said, I can't help it. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, what are we going to do? And I'm staying there, he's staying there, and we're just like hanging, chilling. And he says, I do it all the time. I said, is there any time when you don't do it? He goes, when I thing. I said, when you thing. When I thing. And I said, when you think? He goes, no, when I thing. I said, when you thing, when you sing. He goes, I said that when I thing. And I said, well, okay. I said, I'm a musician. I play music. I haven't got my harmonica. I'll show you what we did next. I said, just imagine, oh, sorry about the camera. Just imagine, guys, I've got a harmonica. Now I'm starting to lisp. What started to happen for me talking with Sam is I started to copy his bloody stutter. I didn't mean to, but because he also stuttered as well as having a lisp, and I started to pick little bits off him without meaning to, and I was trying not to, and it was happening worse and worse, and I didn't want to do it because I didn't want him to think I was copying off him. But I don't know if you've ever been with someone who stutters, but after a while you catch it. So we're in the hostel and everyone's cleared up and some people are laughing about it and everyone's staring at us. And they had another room you could go into, just hang out there, and they had a TV on. I went and turned the TV off because it was morning time. Pulled my harmonica out and I played a little beat, just pretend I got a harmonica, and I said, I'm going to sing something and I want you to sing after me. And he goes, okay. So I went, hey, 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 hey. And his turn. Hey, 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 hey. I was like, Sam, you've got a great voice, mate. He was singing way better than me. He had a real nice tone. Because I know I can sing. Everyone tells me I can sing. And I said, mate, you've got a great voice. I said, okay, try this. I got the harmonica out, blew a tune. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Your turn, bro. Na 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 na. He sang beautifully. He didn't stutter, didn't lisp. And the best part was he didn't tell anybody they had big tits or a big ass or call them a N-word. It was just like beautiful. I said, come down to Cuba Street today with me and let's do some singing. He said, what songs do you sing? And I said, well, what we'll do is we'll do the choruses. Like if I sing a song like, say, a country song like Country Roads, you can sing the chorus. Everybody knows the chorus. If I sing Stand By Me, you can sing Stand By Me. If I say Hey Baby, like Hey, hey baby, I wanna know, will you be my girl? And you can sing that. He's like, okay, I'll try that. So we go down there. Now I used to play with just the harmonica. I wasn't playing the guitar really until I was not professionally until I was like 18. I could play the ukulele a little bit, but the harmonica. But I used to just like smack something and sing and play the harmonica. It's a funny way to busk, but you're carrying an instrument that's only that big. We head on down to Cuba Street. It's about 10 o'clock. I've got the hat out, put my hat down on the ground like this here for people to put some money in. We're sitting on the corner. There's another street intersects there, and there's a few people hanging around. And I start playing the harmonica because it always brings people in. And they're starting to come in. And I started singing that song. Day-ho, he said day, 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 oh, oh. Got a bit of a cold right now, can't really sing. Daylight come and I wanna go home. And then I go up another notch. I said day-ho. And when I did that, he starts to do it in a different key. I said day, 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 oh. Daylight come and I wanna go home. Now I've got the harmonica, I'm playing the riff in between. I should have bought a harmonica for this story, I really should have. And he's looking at me, and just as we're starting to get a bit of an audience going, this blonde woman, who, and tattoos back in the 80s on women were rare, really rare. But this blonde woman who looked very bogan, bottle blonde, and she had tattoos, which you didn't see, and you guys of the 80s will know. It was like, wow. And she walked through as we started to sing, and I could see his brain work, and he was going to say something inappropriate. His Tourette's was going to come out. So I actually gave him a kick in the ass and said, concentrate on the song, bro. He goes, come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and I want to go home. So we got this riff going. And then we'll take up a key. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and I want to go home. Daylight come and I want to go home. Now he starts saying the words, but he changes them. Those damn bananas give me constipation. Daylight come and I want to go home. I have no girlfriend that is frustration. Daylight come and I want to go home. Must I resort to masturbation? I'm like, what the fuck? Daylight come and I want to go home. He goes, sorry. I stole those words from him, and later I used them in comedy shows I did. This guy was brilliant, but his brain was wired the wrong way. And he was going, I got the 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot cut. And I'm like, that's not it, bro. Daylight come and I want to go home. And people are coming around because he's being so rude. And I'm gathering all this information, these songs, and everything's like changing. I got a 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot prick. And he's saying the words and they're changing all the time. That's not the words. Daylight come and I want to go home. And I'm like, bro. There's two police are coming over. They've got their hands behind. They're looking over at us. And he goes, daylight come and I want to oink, oink, oink. And like he's like oinking like a pig, and the police are going over. I'm like, bro, cut it out. He goes, sorry. And I said, don't sing, just talk. And he goes, big. And I said, no, sing. He's going, and the policeman's coming over. They've heard him say pig, and that they're like doing this thing like they're gonna arrest us. They're coming over. We're like looking at them, and it's like they're gonna arrest us, and we're like that there. And then this woman comes over and she whispers in the policewoman's ear, and the policewoman's nodding her head, and the man, and because what I'd explained earlier in the piece to the people in the youth hostel about his Tourette's and that after the incident with the black guy, and she'd been in there, and so now she knew what was going on. So it was like she'd followed us. So this was like gave us like absolute a license to be completely bad in public and get away with it. And the lady cop, she's nodding her head. She knows what Tourette's is, and the other male cop's like, I don't know. And then you can see the conversation between the woman police officer and the guy, and she's like explaining something. You can see he's like suspicious, and she's like, she's been the compassionate one and being more agreeable, and he's like, I don't know about this. Anyway, we're still singing this, daylight come and I want to go home. Anyway, we're changing a new song now, and we're doing Yesterday by Paul McCartney. And I first of all start off, we've got no guitar. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to say, oh, I believe in yesterday. Your turn, bro. Syphilis. Now it's hard for me to take a piss. And it's like the whole audience is laughing. All I wanted was a simple kiss. Oh, syphilis. And I'm going, why she had to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. And he's like, I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. And I realised he actually is lisping when he's singing. He wasn't doing that before. What's going on now? It's just starting to creep in a little bit. And the more we sung, his lisp got worse again. And we took a break. And I said, Sam, your lisp is coming back. And he goes, yes, it does come back after a time. It gets worse. I've got to have a break. I get that when I get really tired. And I said, bro, those songs were funny as hell, man. Do you have any more? And he goes, I just make them up and they come along. I said, okay, well, it's bloody funny, but try not to do the lisp if you can help it, because it makes it hard for people to understand the words you're saying. People are hanging around and we're just having a break, and they're all standing waiting for us to do another set. It's like they're looking at us, and the money's just flowing in. People are laughing. People in their business break, you can see they're going from one place and then they're stopping. And so we're doing the song Yesterday, and then we carry on with it. We get back into the song again, and then he goes, LSD, lots of pretty colours in front of me. The song progressed into something which I can't remember because it's so many years ago, but it became so funny and so elaborate and so clever that all I could think of was, this guy's either completely insane or he's a genius. He made the song like Yesterday from Paul McCartney go from having syphilis to taking drugs to all of these things. And if I could have written it all down, I tried to remember as much as I could for my own show in future. And I used a lot of what he was doing later on in my own concerts. But this guy, it just came out. He was wired that way to see everything disgusting. When I was talking with him one-on-one, and he wasn't like calling me a, I won't say the name, because he called me some funny names. He had a nickname for me. I don't know if I should tell you that or not. I'm just going to pause for a moment. I've got a goat that's trying to get out of the fence. I'm just panning around because you'll look through there. The goat's gone now, but you'll see the apple tree there. And he was just trying to get through the fence to the apple tree, climbing over the trough. So that's what I was doing out there just then. So anyway, we done that, and I said to him, do you want to go fishing this afternoon? Because I had a little fishing rod that I used to take everywhere with me. It was one that was originally much longer, but it got broken in the car door, so I just kept it short, and it was handy to carry in the rucksack. And he said to me, I love fishing. And I said, great. And I said, have you got a fishing rod, Sam? He goes, I don't have a fishing rod, but I have a hand line. And I said, okay, a hand line's cool. So we went down to, in Wellington, you can actually catch kingfish right on the waterfront closer to town. People have caught kingfish, not that I ever did. So we go down there and I'm casting this little crappy rod out, and I hook into a kahawai, and straight away pretty much just flicking out a Toby, just a little Toby. I used to use Toby for everything. And old Sam, he's got his little sink, and he's going round and round and round and round and round and round, and he's like throwing it out. This is working really good, not catching anything. And then he throws one out, and he throws it, the bloody sinker goes out, but the hook gets him in the ear, and it hooks into his ear. And all I hear is, ah, fuck! I've fucking fucked my ear up! I've fucked my ear up! And I'm like, what? There's like blood coming down this thing there, and he's got the sinker hanging off there, and he's got the bait in his actual ear, and he goes, I've got fucking squid in my ear, and I've fucked it up. And I come over and I said, oh, Sam, there's a look, mate. And he's got it there, and I said, bro, I said, I'm gonna have to go right through your ear with that, because what he's got is he's got half in his ear, and he can't pull it out because of the barb. So, and it's not where you pierce your ear there, it's up a little bit higher where the gristle is. So, and what if it had been there, it wouldn't be so bad, but it was up a bit higher. And he goes, it fucking hurts! It hurts! And I said, mate, it's going to have to go through to get that out. I'm going to have to go right through and get some pliers and cut the barb off. And he goes, no fucking way! And I said, well, then you're stuck with it in your ear. So he's trying to pull it out the wrong way, which is even worse, and he's like, it fucking hurts! And I said, bro, I've got pliers in my little, I had a tiny wee tackle box, it was like that big, and all it had was a very, very small, long-nosed pliers with it, cutters, you could cut it, and some swivels, and some rings, and a few hooks. And I said, it won't hurt. And he said, it'll fucking hurt. And I gave him a piece of wood about that long. I said, stick that in your mouth, Sam, and bite on that, and I'll put it through, because you've got to get this out, man. And he's got the bait still in there. So I didn't want to put the bait right, the hook's in his ear and the bait's behind it. So the first thing I did was I cut the bait out, because I didn't want to push any more bait into his ear to cause infection. So I've got it there, and I've got a finger on each side, and I start to do it, and he starts screaming, and it's fucking hard to get through the gristle, and he's like, ah, 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 ah. And I'm trying to push it. I said, it's okay, Sam, I'm nearly there. And I'm fucking not there. I'm like pushing I'm watching this ear stretch on the other side, the sharp bit's like stretching right out. He's like, ah, ah, ah. And I'm pushing. I said, nearly there, Sam. I'm fucking not there at all. And I'm like pushing with my force, and I'm like, fuck, I've got to get this through. He's like, ah, ah, fucking 50. And I get it right, it pops through, and it breaks the skin and pops out the other side, and he goes, you fucking motherfucker, you fucking motherfucker. And I said, sorry, bro. And he's like going off at me, and I've got that, and I get the clippers out, and I've like got the thing, and I'm clipping that, and I snip that, and when I snip it, the long-nosed pliers pinched the bit of skin on his neck, because I didn't have enough weight, and I pinched that as well. And he's like, oh, fuck, you got me here. So his nose looks like a terrible love bite he's got on here. I zip that out of his ear, put some salt water on, wash it up, and he's holding his ear like this, he's looking really sorry for himself, and I said, I'm sorry, Sam. And I said, generally I thought you redheads were tough. I said, you were a bit of a girl. And he said, it fucking hurts, you fucked my ear up. And I said, you stuffed your ear up, it wasn't me, and I fixed it for you. You fucking hurt my ear. It's really sore. I said, do you realise that you didn't stutter at all? You lisped, but you didn't stutter. And he goes, why do you have to remind me? So sometimes he would stutter, and other times he would forget to stutter. So it was almost like he was putting it on. but that wasn't the case. It's just the way he was. And I noticed when he had real trauma that he wouldn't sometimes stutter, and other times he would. And sometimes when he got stressed or tired, his lisp would get worse. So it was kind of triggered by it. And I don't know if anybody watching this, if you have a stutter, is it the same for you? And do you also not stutter when you sing? He never ever stuttered when he sung, but he did lisp sometimes. So we got it out. I've got my kahawai there, and I put another hook on his line, put a bait on, do this for him, put it out in the water, give him something to hold on to. And he's sitting there and he's holding his ear, looking like this, looking really sorry. And next time I see his hand go, whoosh, and he has hooked into a fucking shark, and it's actually leaping out of the water. It's a thrasher shark on the bait, and it's leaping out, and he's got this hand on his ear, and he's got this thrasher shark. It's not a big one. It's only like probably, oh, how can I show on the camera? It's only about that big, but it's on this thing, and it's a bloody thrasher shark in Wellington Bay. I've never ever heard of anybody catching one in there since, and I don't know how rare that was, that moment that David is holding on to this, and he's got this thrasher shark. It's big enough, and he's trying to hold. He's going, I've got a shark, I've got a shark, I've got a shark, and he's holding this thing on, and I've got my line out there, and I'm trying to wind it in so it doesn't get caught up in it. And as I'm winding in, I get hit by another kahawai. I've got this, so I'm playing the kahawai, and he's like holding his ear, and I said, let your fucking ear go and pull that fish in. So he lets it go, and when he lets it go, there's blood coming out, and he's pulling this fucking shark in, and we both land our fish at an identical same time, and he's got this thrasher shark, and I've got another kahawai, and this thing's it's on the beach whacking around. He goes, oh, I caught a shark, I said, that's a thrasher shark, man. Never ever seen one in Wellington before. That could be a first. Never seen anybody catch one. He's like, holy shit, the thrasher shark. And I said, yeah. I said, do you want to kill it? You can eat him. He goes, fuck no, we've got kahawai. I said, well, you can eat the thrasher shark too. He said, no, I don't want to eat it, I don't want to kill it. And I said, okay, well, so I killed my kahawai, and I didn't really know why I didn't want to kill it, and let it go. And so we got 2 kahawai now, put them on the bag. We had a little bag, we didn't have any ice or anything, because I wasn't that well prepared, just behind a log out of the sun. I said, we'll put our lines out again, and we'll see if we can catch some more. We'll have heaps of fish to take back to the hostel. And he goes, yeah, too right. Puts his line out again. I hadn't even got mine in the water, and there was like obviously a lot of kahawai, and he's fishing with bait. And I have never had so much luck fishing with bait for kahawai. I've always had, like, on lures has been the best. But Sam hooked into another bloody beauty. That was the 3rd kahawai, and I didn't even get my line in, so I thought I'd help him with it, and he got it back up. He keeps on holding his ear. He needed to have something around his head to pin it in, because it was bleeding. It was a fucking big hole, because it's gone through the cartilage there. And we're catching these fish. He's got this fish, and he gets up on the beach, and I said, well, that's your one, bro. And I said, there's my knife. And he couldn't kill it. I can't kill it. And I said, well, you got to kill it, bro. I said, that's part of the equation you can't remove when you're fishing or you're hunting. You got to kill him, otherwise you got to release him. He said, I don't want to release it. We keep it, but I don't want to kill it. I said, well, you got to kill it. And he said, I can't kill it. And I said, okay, I'll kill it. So he stuck a knife in it and bled it out. And he said, thank you. And I said, that's no worries, mate. Now, we've been fishing for a while and talking to a while, and then it happened. I started to stutter myself. I started to pick it up of him. I put the fish in the bag, I got it out, and I can't really remember what it was I said. It was probably something like, have you had a good day or something like that? I can't remember. But he said to me, you're taking the piss out of me. And I said, no, and I kept on getting worse and worse, but not only was I stuttering now, so I was starting to put a lisp into my words, and I couldn't stop it, and I said, I just can't help it. I said, I'm sort of catching it off you, I think, man, I'm not meaning to. And he goes, bullshit, you're taking the piss out of me. And I said, no, I'm not. I just seem to be catching it off you, and my speech got really caught up on it, and I started to think, fuck, I didn't know you can catch stuttering. Maybe I'm going to be stuttering for the rest of my life. Shit, this isn't good. I can't hang around with this guy. I'm going to catch his stuttering. It's a disease. You catch it. Maybe I'll catch his Tourette's. And the fishing was great, but the Tourette's wasn't really coming out. It was more just the sore ear and the stuttering and the lisp. Anyway, we get back to the hostel, and we've got some fish, and we're back in there. There's some new people come in, and there were some Asians an Asians, fish is part of the Asian food culture for a lot of Asians. So I thought, well, it'd be really nice to give these Asians some fish. And so I went over to them and I said, hey, we've got some spare kahua, would you like some? And the woman said to me, just because we're Asian, we don't like fish. And I said, sorry. And then there was a guy next to the table who was watching, and he was like, yeah, I like fish, bro. He was a Kiwi guy. I said, have a kauai. He took the kauai and, like, I said, what are you going to do with this? He says, I'm going to fry it up in the pan. Just stick it in the pan, eh? And I said, sweet as. So he pan fried his. We also pan fried ours, but we kept everything else and we made a big fish soup. And we had one left we put in the fridge in the morning. Next morning I got up and it was gone. Someone had eaten it. And it's like, fuck. You're not supposed to take, it was a communal fridge, we all used it, but you weren't supposed to take it. And there was a guy from further north, up the North Island, and he had his back to me, and I thought he was a Maori guy because he was talking like a lot of Maori do in the far north, but he was as white as me. And I turned around and I realised he was eating some fish. And I said, g'day mate, how you going? He goes, alright bro. It gives me the old eyebrows. I said, nice bit of fish you got there, what's that? He goes, fuck if I know, eh? And I said, well, where'd you get it? He goes, I found it in the fridge. And I said, oh, that was probably mine. He goes, fuck, it was yours, it's not yours now, bro. And I said, well, it would have been nice to ask. It's kind of stealing if you take someone's stuff. He goes, oh, fuck, bro, sorry. I didn't think you would mind, eh? And I said, but you didn't even know whose it was. And he said, yeah, but just heaps of fish to go around everybody. And I said, there was only one fish left. I said, that was for my breakfast this morning, and I've got a mate. And he was going to have it with us. We're going to have it together. He's like, who's your mate? And I said, Sam. And he goes, oh, I know who Sam is. He's the guy that swears a lot at people. He's a crack up, eh? And I said, yeah, he's got Tourette's. He goes, he's a fucking crack up, that cunt. He's fucking hilarious. And I said, yeah, well, he also gets himself in a lot of trouble, and it's pretty hard for him, actually. He goes, I think it's fucking mint, eh? And I said, yeah. I said, where are you from? He goes, Kiri Kiri. I said, where's that? He goes, top of the North Island. And I said, oh yeah. And I said, what's it like up there? He goes, fucking mint, eh? And I said, what do you do up there? He goes, pig hunting. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, man, we got a pig hunting club in Kiri Kiri. Actually, the pig hunting club in Kiri Kiri is still even going today, I believe. And if you're watching this and you're up there, let me know. I'm pretty sure it is. I said, didn't even know there was a club for pig hunting. He goes, yeah, man, we got a club, eh? And I said, okay. He goes, yeah, and we go pig hunting in the pints, and we get a lot of big pigs. And I said, tell me about your dog. So we had a conversation about dogs, and I told him about my dog Frosty that I'd been borrowing. And I probably painted up Frosty a bit better than Frosty was a good dog, but I probably painted a bit more up because his dogs are fucking amazing and cool. And then Sam came down for breakfast, and Sam comes down and he looks at me and he goes over the fridge to open it up and he goes, "Where's the fucking fish?" And I said, "Oh, this guy here took it." And the guy took it up and he goes, "How's it going, Sam?" And Sam goes, "You took my fish, you motherfucker." And he goes, "Oh, come on, bro, there's heaps to go around everybody, eh?" And he'd eaten half of it, and he peeled off the bones, just like you do with a flounder, but this was a kauai, and all the rest was on the plate. He peeled it off and took it over to Sam, and Sam's like, "It's got your germs on it now." And the guy goes, "Oh, don't worry, bro. I haven't got any germs, eh? I'm clean." He's got like a big snotty nose, and he's got scrubby fucking everything. Everything about this guy says he's the most unhygienic person. Probably looks like he hasn't washed for a year. And it looks like the last person you want to share your germs with. And Sam goes, "You can have it back," and gives it back to him. We finally got the hell out of there and went downtown. All three of us went downtown to make a bit of music. And the guy that was from up north, can't remember his name, don't know what it was. He talked like a Maori, he talked like that real northern. We played a gig, making dollars, having a lot of fun. And I got this really, really bad cramp. was playing harmonica and I got a cramp like you've never had a cramp before. I do get cramps sometimes, and I had to stop halfway through it. I couldn't play harmonica, and so the guy from up north, he didn't care about my cramp or anything. I was just on the ground with my leg rolling around going, oh, I've got a cramp, I've got a cramp. And the guy from up north goes, oh, can I have your harmonica for a bit? I said, yeah, mate, I handed it to him, and he starts blowing this thing. He's good. He's really good, and I'm trying to straighten his leg out, and he's blowing the harmonica, and people are clapping, and got the old harmonica going. Sam's like singing really, really beautifully. It's all like unfolding like a spontaneous thing. I don't even remember what song it was. I think it was some sort of a bluesy mix, sort of, I'm not going to say a rap song because rap wasn't around there, but it was sort of like a bit of a few rhymes going on, and I've got this fucking cramp while it's going on, and while it's happening, Sam's busting these rhymes with a lisp about my cramp, and old mate's blowing my harmonica, and then Sam start making inappropriate words about old mate blowing my organ. He's changing the words around, and it's like the whole thing is kind of like some sort of moment in time where you couldn't possibly repeat it, and the audience is building up stronger and stronger. And there's 3 girls, when I say girls, about our age, all in the front, and they've been watching us through the whole gig, so the boys are kind of like trying a few shapes and trying to impress these girls, and they're just cross-legged sitting watching us, and they're sharing a cigarette cross-legged in front of us there. We're like playing the music. I finally got rid of the cramp, and I've got my harmonica, and I pick it back up and I clean it on my shirt because it's been his gob, and start playing, and he starts just clapping his hands in time and singing some backing vocals, and we've got a real good thing going here. It's like a spontaneous, I really should have bought a harmonica to show you guys what we were doing, because a lot of it was done with the harmonica, but they were singing around it. And when we finally finished the show and we're counting up the money, the 3 girls come over. Now, Sam liked one of the girls who was also a redhead like him, and I liked a girl who was dark-haired Maori girl who was just beautiful. I'd been looking at her. And the other guy, I forget his name, he liked the blonde one. So we all sort of had one that we liked each. And I went up to the Maori girl, and she kept on looking over my shoulder when I was talking to her at the guy from up north. So clearly she liked him, not me, and I could feel that her eyes were going off me all the time looking at him. And the other girl also liked him, and the redhead had peeled off with Sam. So it became clear that I was gonna luck out. So Sam's peeled off with the redhead girl. Old mate from up north has peeled off with 2 girls, and I've gone home alone feeling really sorry for myself and totally rejected. And this was something which happened quite a bit because I wasn't very confident with women and how to be. I was back at the hostel, couldn't find Sam anywhere. I put a notice on the notice board trying to find him, but he never answered it. And old mate from up north, he never came back. I did a little bit more fishing that afternoon again and caught 1 fish only, which I had that night. Following morning, Sam didn't return. Didn't see him for a while, didn't show up. But I do catch up with him down the track, and that's where things got a little bit weird and more inappropriate. Now, I took a lot of the words and things he said from those gigs, and there's a lot more I haven't talked about. None of it's not all appropriate to say on YouTube, but there's a lot of funny stuff he come out with, which I kept and I actually used later on in shows in Germany to add comedy to what I was doing and stuff, and that was very, very useful. His Tourette's got worse later on for a period of time when I finally did connect up with him, and I will do another story on that, but it's probably been going on for like half an hour, this story so far, so we'll knock it on the head. I can't actually see the time, it's been going a while, so I'll bring you that a bit later on. If you know a brother that's struggling in any way and needs a bit of a laugh to lighten up his load, share the story with him. And if you enjoy it yourself and you made the end, punch the like button so I know they got this one right. And I'll see you on the Broadsheet Club soon with another yarn, a throwback yarn. I'm thinking of changing the channel from the Broadsheet to the Throwback Club. Because so far I've just been doing throwbacks this year. Because they're easy and I don't have to think too hard. They just flow because I just have to dig into my memory and out they come. It's pretty easy. Thanks for all your comments and all your love. And I'll see you in the next one. See you later.